made you think it's still 1800. How old are you, vampire? Sorry. It's a bit of an unfortunate habit. To be fair, since I basically just re-awoke, I'm probably somewhat looking more dead than usual and sound like it. Yeah. In this case, particularly, I was referring to the time on a clock. As in, 6 o'clock. But let's just assume that I'm a bit of an old-timey vampire who has just re-awoken. I didn't even realize that was... You're absolutely right, that is actually a way to interpret it. It's like, just re-awoken from my little slumber. Still kind of think it's 1800. Well played strategy, well played indeed, I like it. So yeah, today you will see my my vampiristic rediscovery of our modern time by playing some Ys games, apparently. Give me a second, I'm gonna prepare a pipe. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee and splash some water into my little face, so I get a bit more awake. Which is all stuff I should have done before I started streaming, I know. But I've decided that I just wanted to see if it actually works and if I could do something today, so... It is what it is. Also, I'm probably gonna have to be awake at least an hour or two before I start with the next beer that I owe you. Business strategy. You know, there are some limitations, even for you. If you were to go around and get me the... What was it again? The Turbo VFX or whatever the fuck that monstrosity of a console was called, plus its controller, plus Ys for Wondrous of Ys, you would still have to pay me at least 5,000 bucks for me to play through the original Ys 4. Ys 3, I mean. Sorry. I'm still just getting confused with the numbers. It is Ys 3. Otherwise, if it's the remake, I'm gonna play this with my PlayStation controller. Far more comfortable. Literally, this is how bad the original game was. I never finished the first dungeon, the fucking mine, on the original game. Believe you me, it was that annoying. And not for lack for trying, mind you. Not for fucking lack of trying. I tried fucking hard to do that. Okay. Now then, before I make myself into much more of a clown, because my thought process cannot keep up, my brain is kind of like, is it morning? Are we awake yet? Do we need to do something? It's like, no brain, it's actually the evening. But in good news, I can at least somewhat stretch today, of course, because, as you might know, tomorrow is Saturday, which means even if I stay awake until like 12, and, wake up a bit later tomorrow, that's actually not a problem, because it's fucking Saturday, and none of these assholes will call me on fucking Saturday. I mean, the family might call me, but at least they are not, going to cancel the money that I get. So that's a good start. Yeah, but honestly, while I'm quite a fan and quite weak to nostalgia myself, so having something that resembles one of the old controllers would be cool, no question about it. It's not like I'm not aware that modern controllers are really comfortable, actually. The PlayStation controller, even the extended version with the dual sticks, which I did take some time to get used to, because I started, of course, with just a D-pad on the PlayStation 1. Once you got used to the form and to the control scheme and everything, it's just comfortable, honestly. And I don't really want to go back to anything else. I remember some of the very old ones. I remember the SNES one. I had one in my head not that long ago, and I was like, how the fuck did I ever feel good playing with that? But well, give me 1 second while I douse myself in copious amounts of very cold water to get a bit more awake. Probably also take a piss, and then we'll hopefully have somebody here whose brain is awake enough to give you some reasonable comments. Reasonable as usual. Never say never. You're challenging yourself today. Oh! God damn it, is the floor cold. I really need to start wearing another pair of fucking socks at some point. Or remember where I put my slippers. One or the other. Get the feet off the ground for once. It is good real quick. I mean, the game is already open, but that's not a problem. Oh, excuse me. Oh, that came out of nowhere. It's usually the point where people are like, I should probably stop smoking, shouldn't you? Yeah. The thing looks pretty much as uncomfortable as the original ones did. You know, smoking is a form of cancer, most special. But yeah, I mean, it looks cute, and honestly, if it was just for novelty's sake, I would absolutely like to have something like this, but it looks as uncomfortable as the old ones all did. And that's kind of the whole point, isn't it? As I said, both the Xbox and the and Sony, so for the PlayStation, you kind of come up with this really cool little thing where you basically have a somewhat, I loathe the word ergonomic, but somewhat ergonomic controllers that just fits well into your hand. While these small ones that are basically just, you know, like a very, not that big brick, basically, they aren't really that comfortable. You realize that after a while. Then you don't want to go back. So it's basically just a novelty item, yeah? It's the kind of plaything that you kind of want to have, just to have it and go like, look, it's cool. Oh, yo, little Terry, welcome. That's not really something that I would like to play games with on a longer session. Excuse me, it seems that my nose is a bit stuffy. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Very well. Give me a moment to smoke some pipe smoke, and then we shall engage some, actually the second dungeon we shall engage. How do I successfully quit smoking? You ask me as I light my pipe and indulge the smoke. Well, technically speaking, there is no secret, yeah, as the physical addiction to nicotine is relatively weak. Smoking is most foremost a psychological addiction, meaning that if you want to successfully quit smoking, all you really have to do is, well, not smoke. And fill the obvious then open slot for routines with other things. For many people that ends up being eating something, which is kind of the reason why they kind of get fat when they stop smoking, but yeah. Different people have of course different, how to put this mildly, preferred methods. Some swear on some of these, what was they called, these nicotine, basically band-aids that you can put on yourself. Other people started for a while to chew on nicotine bags in order to get the same kick. They'll only have to deal with either the physical or the psychological aspect of your addiction first, the other one later. Well, other people needed a support group or friends, families, or I think there's actually official groups that try to do this, and so on and so on. So, kind of depends on yourself. Let's say, go to rehab setups. I don't think smokers do get their own rehab center, do they now? I mean, alcoholics do, as far as I know. Smokers haven't really looked into it. I have for some months in a while stopped smoking. It's not really that difficult necessarily. As I said, the main problem is you have to get over the habits. The habits are kind of what's fucking you. Strategy. We all know that nicotine is a drug that is addictive, obviously, but compare that to most other substances and you will find that the purely physical, the bodily addiction is really weak. Really. Which is why when you stop smoking, you actually don't get that many withdrawal symptoms. But you know, kind of have to find out what works for you. I mean, you could just stop smoking cigarettes and start smoking the pipe. like a true fucking gent, like I do. Ah. Well, yes, because smoking ingrains itself into your routines. A cigarette is part of your routine to deal with stress, for example. Which means, since it's also something that keeps your hands busy, you do need to find something to replace that with. Yeah, cigars are also pretty good. Honestly, it is a matter of taste at that point. But so long as you actually keep, take the smoking in and of itself out of the routine and make it into something special, something, for example, as a bit of a reward thing, or something like the pipe, which actually takes work to get, well, prepared, which means that you cannot actually nearly indulge in it as easily. Indeed, Kitty is very good at that. Kitty always forgets that I can see him. Also, bit of a little side note. As I said, this is of course the remake of the, remake, let's say remake, because that seems a bit more than of the original game. And while the first dungeon with its 2 bosses might seem somewhat mean to start off with, this is actually nothing. The game still has a bit of a nasty streak towards its players, and the second dungeon is a very good example of that, which is why I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not going to spoil it outright, obviously. I kind of would like you to be around to see what we're doing there. It's going to take a while, of course, to get there, but that's nice. It's nice. It has its moments. But yeah, smoking is, or can be, a bit special, obviously. Of course, nowadays we also have the option, and that is something what some of my family members did. They stopped smoking and started the whole, with the what's they called, the electric thingies. There's a word for that. Once again, I apologize. I'm not yet completely awake. This is the first cup of coffee I have after waking up again, so give me a moment. Vaping, yeah, vaping, that's it. And, for example, for my father, who was a heavy smoker for like 40 years, Marlboro Red, smoker, mind you, disgusting, I know. Man has absolutely no taste in cigarettes, but he stopped completely and is now just vaping with his fruity shit. And it's such an irony. You look at that guy and you go like, yeah, I mean, he smoked Marlboro Red for basically 40 fucking years, and now he's like, nah, this watermelon tastes cute. I know. Strategy, I know. It's not like it's completely risk-free alternative, obviously not. You're still inserting chemicals into your body, just in a very different way than before. But if your end goal is just to stop smoking cigarettes, if you just want to stop smoking cigarettes, nothing else is important to you, then that is actually a way to go. And it has worked for the old man, and it helped with his, what was it called, the lung thing, the CPD or what it was called. He basically had started developing that from all the smoking. And now it's apparently better, so hey, that's something. So yeah. And I think actually, comparatively speaking, at least once you get the equipment, so you know you got the proper vape thing and the coils and shit for it, I think it's still a little bit cheaper than just cigarettes. Don't quote me on that, I'm not an expert on vaping. I tried, of course, I'm a curious mind, and I dealt with anything that was related to smoking for a while in my business, so it's not like I never tried it, but I could never see myself becoming a fan. Well, yes, let me tell you a little bit of a nice little story about Philip Morris. You might know Philip Morris as the big company behind, oh, I don't know, fucking Marlboro, you know, the big guys. I also have some other brands, but Marlboro is probably the most known brand. Literally, it doesn't matter in what sort of shithole you find yourself in this fucking world. There's a good chance you can buy Marlboro there. No questions about it. Now, they invested heavily into their e-cigarette segment, to the point where they spent, I don't even know how many millions on advertisement, and they kind of wanted to completely abandon their original cigarette brands for the most part, and basically just focus on e-cigarettes as the future for the company as a whole. Why, you might wonder, would they do that? Well, because at the time, when you look at how tobacco products are taxed and how, comparatively speaking, e-cigarette and the IQOS and its tobacco, for example, were, because the IQOS was a very smart idea, were taxed, it was a lot better for them. It wasn't really done for your health. Well, enough complaining about how companies will never do anything for you, but only for themselves, because that is rather obvious what they're gonna do. I'm gonna light the pipe once more, and then I'm going to, well, keep playing where we left off yesterday. We finished the first dungeon. Yeah, pretty much. I went into town. Our little her lady friend has learned that her brother might be up to some no good nonsense, and now she's not really happy about it, and we are supposed to be finding her. I did kinda walk around the town and talk to the people, because kinda what you do, so that we basically don't have to do it now and can just go and play with the little lady. I mean, technically speaking, you know, first and foremost, a battery is a battery, so I guess that is actually a creative idea. Interesting. Oh, I mean, that is actually a creative solution, yeah. But what does your eBay run on? Well, that you should ask. Jesus. Yeah. Slowly but surely I'm getting a bit more awake, which means I actually remember what we need to do. But yeah, the great world of smoking. I'm pretty sure our strategy just wants to showcase his extensive knowledge when it comes to random trivia. Yes, that is a bit of random trivia. And then we were talking about e-cigarettes, and those are usually, of course, powered by batteries. Obviously. He just wanted to, you know, show his overly long and hard trivia boner, basically. Which is something I do enjoy. I do enjoy it when people actually have lots and lots of fucking random trivia in their head. Because, you know, chances are there's actually something in there that you don't know, and now you're like, wow, that's actually kind of interesting. I need to look this up and look into it a bit more. Let's see, I did actually lower the voices a bit because they were unnaturally loud compared to everything else, so let's see how that works. If that lady decides to speak to us, she does. That's one of these things that never will get... Well, I really do wonder what it is with Westerners and their dislike for just saying Nissan, or Nissan, any of the other fucking words that are very much descriptors for your family members. You could very easily translate this with just brother and sister, couldn't you? But instead, I go for the name. Which makes it sound, I don't know, a lot more distant, actually. Ah, maybe it's just me. Oh well, maybe it's just me. Who knows? Who knows?
すみませんでした。さっきは私、取り乱してしまって。このペンダント、兄さんがくれたものなんです。姿を消した時、手紙と一緒に置かれてあって、これをかけていたら、兄さんが近くにいてくれる気がして。でも本当にこんなに近くにいたんですね。
Well, yeah, literally. Because if he serves the Lord, then he's over at Castle Wallstein, isn't he? Which, technically speaking, isn't really that far away.
すみません、アドルさん。どうやら兄さんにひどいことを言われたみたいですね。
I mean, the Lord is a bit of an asshole, isn't he?
恩人であるおじさまにも失礼なことを言ったみたいだし。一体兄さんに何があったのかしら。
Yes. People act on reasons that they come up, justifications for themselves, but that does not necessarily mean they're anything good, does it now? As I said before, he could just have thought to himself, you know, this is a fucking nothing village in a nothing land where there is nothing. So maybe I don't want to be a miner for the rest of eternity, and maybe I just want to be a knight. Sounds cooler.
でも私、現金ですよね。兄さんが生きているって分かっただけでも嬉しいんです。
Also, to be fair, the text is only roughly going along with what she's actually saying. Just one more of these nice examples of you cannot trust any fucking translation, because they will fuck it up. Which is, that's sadly something you will see quite often. It's a whole nother debate that I could talk about for a few hours and never get tired of pointing out just how ridiculous it is sometimes, but...
この半年間の悩みが全部消えてしまった気がします。兄さんが何を考えているかまだわからないけれど。
That is roughly along the same what she just said.
ちゃんと話し合えばきっと元の優しい兄さんに戻ってくれると思うんです。
Why do they feel so much need to adding random nonsense? These are then supposed to be professionals that you actually pay for that.
だから私は大丈夫。ありがとうアドルさん。わざわざ心配してくれて。
One of those points, isn't it? One of those points that you can really never complain about enough. It has happened since eternity. These motherfuckers are so fucking lucky that I never was in a position where I had a company that would actually deal with licensing products from Asia, and they have looking for people to actually translate them. Because if I had hired these people, and I was like, okay, let's listen to what the lady says. Why the fuck do we have 20 fucking more lines written than what she's actually saying? I would fucking murder these motherfuckers. Because I would be like, that is not what we agreed upon per contract. I asked you to translate this shit. I did not ask you to write a whole nother story into the story, did I now? Now I'm going to cut whatever the fuck I promised to give you for that work. I should really start a company like this, shouldn't I? It would be a fucking nightmare. One of the advantages of having listened to Japanese for my 30 years or so at this point. Jesus. I might be getting somewhat of a sickness, I will assume. I also do need to clean my nose of other distinct feeling, because it seems to be a bit more stuffy than it needs to be. Oh well, oh well. Look, the Frenchman has disappeared. Why are we worried? Shouldn't we be celebrating? I guess he was part of the community. And even a Frenchman, if he stays a long time with you, I can't have somewhat grow fond of them. Of course you shouldn't, I'm still a Frenchman, but, you know. Humans are strange things. We have a tendency to, you know, humanize pretty much anything and everything, including lifeless objects. So it is not that far out of the window to assume that you could potentially humanize a Frenchman. It would take a lot of work, but it's not impossible.
おや、その燃えるような赤毛は
Yeah, it's basically the one very much so defining characteristic of Adol. He has a hair so red, it's amazing. Which makes it far, far, far too easy to identify. By the way, that also means if you take that away, he becomes far, far, far less recognizable, obviously.
私はフェルガナ教区を任されているニコラスというものだ。
So he's the head honcho of the church.
3年前までここの管理者だった
This church, or this area of churches, to be fair.
今はピエール神父に工事を任せて城に建てられた聖堂を管理している。
It doesn't bode well.
まあ今もこうして様子を見に立ち寄らせてもらうことが多いんだが、よりにもよってあんな場所にピエール神父が行ってしまったとはな。
Ah.
ここから北東にあるイルバーンズ遺跡という場所のことを知っているかね。
No, but we will get very, very much acquainted with it. That is the second dungeon. The second dungeon, as I said, has a bit of a very unfortunate end part.
大昔にあった邪教の神殿跡で教会が管理している場所なんだが。
Although to be fair, for once I would actually highly recommend staying along if you want to see some good old-fashioned Sparta action. Because this game has a good old Sparta moment. Just that this is not Sparta in this particular case.
どうやらピエール神父は単身その遺跡に入ったらしいのだ。
最近は遺跡近くの旧火山の動きも活発になっているそうですし、遺跡内部に魔物がはびこっているという噂も耳にしたことがあります。
The whole land seems to be infested by monsters. Is it really that surprising that an ancient ruin would be infested as well? Simple answer, no. Actually,
そう
no.
か。これは一刻の猶予もなさそうだな。そうだ、アドル君。聞いた話だと、採石場でエドガー町長を助けたそうだね。
Well, yeah, that's kind of
そ
true.
の腕を見込んで言うが、君にピエール神父の保護をお願いできないだろうか。
Sure. Why not?
勇気ある決断に感謝する。では、これを渡しておこう。
See, at least these people are smart enough to lock dangerous areas for the most part.
イルバーンズ遺跡は街道に出て
Which is a smart thing to do.
先にある。
For one simple reason, namely
入
that
り
you
口は扉で封鎖さ
quite
れてい
often
る。
otherwise find people
この
randomly
鍵
wandering
を
in
使
there.
えば中に入れるだろう。
Be it out of greed, somebody who might want to steal some artifacts or something to sell out the market, because, well, you know, there's always going to be a market for, well, random trinkets from the past,
それでは
obviously.
ピエール神父のことは
Just some bloody stupid kids. And kids that do have a tendency to be somewhat suicidal.
君に聖国の加護があらんことを健闘を祈る。
Oh, well, in this case, just, you know, the priest. Now, before we do this, is that I will try to clean out my nose a little bit so I don't fucking sit here and feel the air getting somewhat less than proper in my fucking lungs. As I said, I did run around talking to people. There's an opportunity where you could get some money from one of the merchants for some ore, which you can find as well. So I got that out of the way, and I bought the longsword already, and the chainmail we bought before, so nothing new there. Apart from that, I really didn't do anything that we need to talk about, but well, kinda didn't want to. I just wanted to make sure that I'm not, you know, missing any of the character notes. Luckily enough, as you can see, there's not really that many of them, and you can actually, of course, use the monster guide as a bit of a telling sign as well. Last page for boss monsters, so you can tell how many boss monsters more we will have to fight in order to get done with, and the monster list as well will tell you that this game is, practically speaking, actually not that long. Quite literally actually not that long. And the area we are working in is also relatively... It's not really that big. This is... I mean, look at this. This is literally all we have to deal with. We have the town, which we were already. There's the quarry, which we were in. Now we're going to the Ilburn ruins, which actually have, as I said, a bit of a neat little, well, I say neat, not so neat feature. Pretty mean feature, actually. Then the Elder Mountains, Wellstein Castle, and Genos Island. Which is basically all we have to go through in order to finish this. I think during the one playthrough I did of this, it took me like, what, 8 hours, 10 hours total to get through. Yeah, so don't expect this to be a too long of a journey, so to speak. Now I'm gonna get close to the Ilburn ruins and then I'll excuse myself for just a minute to, well, do the opposite of powdering my nose. Quite frankly, I will unpowder my nose so I can actually breathe more consistently. So the idea was, I think this is actually the way back to the harbor, isn't it? Or harbor. Because I'm pretty sure there's a way back there. No, this is the entrance to the ruins, isn't it? Where is the fucking way to the harbor then? Now I want to check that out just in case. Actually, I think at this point in time we could walk up all the way to the castle if we wanted to. Not like you can enter the castle right now. And what do you think would happen if a random nobody appears before the castle and was like, could I enter? I'd be like, no. But kinda paid specifically to not let random people enter. Which, you know, is a pretty fair point. It's kind of what you're paying guards for. To make sure random people don't decide to just enter. I wonder why that was. Or was that another yeast game? I'm just getting confused. Because this is, I think, the way up to the mountains, isn't it? At least I'm relatively certain. Yeah, we can't actually get... See, the game is kind of nicely telling you you're not supposed to be here yet, because there's a nice little obstacle that you can't overcome just yet without having some mystifistical way to do so. Which is fair, you know? So the map really is not that terrible. This is basically the overworld map, so to speak. It's really not that big. Yeah, see, this is the way I was looking for. This is the way down to the harbor where we started. There's the destroyed statue. Yeah, basically forward would go to the castle, and this is where Adol and Joey originally landed. Oh, see, there's the little boat. As I said, harbor is maybe a bit of a overstatement. More like a single little pier thingy in the middle of nowhere. But I knew it was there. Or I assumed it was there, at least. Okay, back to the ruins. And then it's time to deal with that. No, don't worry about it. I will not sit here and, you know, start using my little start playing around with paper in my nose while having you watch that. It seems a bit cruel and unusual. I will of course excuse myself for a moment like a good proper gentleman. Hello little doggies, you will die. Also, I'm getting kinda sick and tired of collecting one gold piece things when we can get better things in the future. Also, is it... I think we get the gale here, don't we? Yeah, we're relatively certain we get the gale here. Better to be prepared than not. What can we talk about in the meantime? Well, yeah, we can talk about frozen pizza. Why don't we talk about frozen pizza? See, I've always been somewhat confused. Because when I go to the store, there's all of these name brand frozen pizzas in the frozen section. I look at the prices, I go like, one of these motherfuckers is supposed to be costing me like $3.69. That's fucking pricey. Why would I buy that if for like $2.99 I can get like a 3 set of no-name fucking frozen pizza? And then I would still be left with, you know, enough left over to actually get myself some extra ingredients to put on said no-name pizza in order to make it into something rather tasty. Seems like a better deal, right? I get 3 pizzas and some options for the toppings instead of having just one. Honestly, I tried the pricey one once. Wasn't that much better than what I can create of my own. How the fuck is that a business model that works, honestly? I wonder. Are people really that willing to go for the just for the name recognition instead of just going, you know, sitting down thinking for 1 second like, wait a second, I can get a cheap pizza that basically has nothing on it and can basically be infinitely personalized with whatever the fuck you want. Why wouldn't you buy it? Even better, you get 3 for less a price. Then you can get 1 name brand one. Seems like a strange thing, doesn't it? Oh well. Strange things aside, and people's very unfortunate habits aside, time to go into the ruins. Oh, use the key. Yes, please. Actually, did we save? Oh, no, room. I'll just do it again, just in case. Just in case. Just making sure we are safe and sound. Ah. Yeah, little whole thing. I can already tell that you have a bit more health than the other ones. Ah, flying enemies. Bit of a pain in the ass to deal with. Put it quite mildly. How the fuck did that still connect, bitch? Some wolf creatures will apparently have a whip. I'm not gonna try and whip me, aren't you? Yes, yes he is. Well, that's new and exciting. Yeah, I kind of figured you would do something horribly magic-y. Ah, the enemy that likes to explode. Boom! That's probably something to keep in mind. Is that a doorway? No, it's not. Okay, fair enough. Does explode the enemy drop loot? No, not really, he drops body parts. Which, I mean, to be fair, that is fair. If your whole stick is blowing yourself up. Ouch. You have a fucking whole shockwave. It's rather unfortunate, I must say. Of course, one of the problems of having a contextualized attack is that as soon as he starts going down, he will automatically do his downward slash, even if you don't necessarily want him to do a downward slash at the moment. Not like you actually have an option here. It is what it is, and it is how it works. You have to get used to it. Well, of course, as long as you're fast enough, he will always do his nice little slashes in the air. Come here, little creature. Still worth a nice amount of XP, actually. Oh, that's one. Yeah, there it is. That is a lunge attack. Now, I don't think this game actually had the audacity to put in a lunge jump. Because as I said before, that is the most cancerous movement you could include into your game, just to make it absolutely damn sure that nobody will ever find much enjoyment in their life again. It's just that bad. I don't like that you're up here. Hello, mage. How nice of you to teleport right smack dab into my way. Because that makes it far, far, far easier to fucking kill you. There must be... Well, there's a way up there, but I don't think I can actually reach that, can I? Seems like a bit too much distance to jump, doesn't it? Yep, pretty much absolutely even. Oh god damn it. Okay, that doesn't work either. Since these enemies we can only deal with like this. Yeah, that reminds me of the Ark. I did kinda have to master this particular moveset also. Very, very much so. Otherwise, you'd be kinda screwed. That's putting it fucking mildly. Four different ways, eh? Questions indeed. Let's go down because they're gonna really fucking respawn anyway. So many natures. Luckily enough, they are not really that tough. A small shield. I mean, it's not like I, you know, I'm not grateful for that. I'll fucking take it. After all, an upgrade to my little wooden shield. I think I have the next set of equipment actually nice and properly done already. Rather enjoyable that. Like, don't mind me, I'm just on my way through. For some reason this looks like a trap, doesn't it? I don't know what gave it away. Maybe the directly behind me closed door. Ah, it's unravel. That is indeed a good state. Yeah, because that means we can actually upgrade our equipment. Pocket Mage, don't annoy me. You're a busy person, don't you know it? More Ravelor. Nice. That's also a system I need to get used to again. 2 different currencies. Because, in the Ark it's gonna be the same. There's also gonna be 2 systems. Both gold and another... What was it called? Emerald or something? I don't even remember. Yeah, two different things you need to fucking farm. In order to get all of your upgrades and shit. That's a lot of mages. Thanks for the elixir. I wasn't really that I wanted to pick it up right now, but I'll graciously just take it. That trap was a bit more deadly than the other one. I mean, quote unquote, to be fair, but... rather unfortunate. Hello, mages. Goodbye, little mages. Nobody likes you. Distinct feeling I would need to have come here anyway. Ah, you're more. I have a distinct feeling the game probably wants me at some point to go back home and just actually make use of that. And distinctly have a feeling we should do this before we actually engage with the next boss. Exactly, I don't actually remember when the next boss is. But normally I will assume there's going to be a monument before. That is probably going to be a good giveaway. Yeah, these motherfuckers again. Don't even try to run away, bitch. Come here, little old. Let me brutalize you. I don't think we have the right spell for that, do we? Yep. Definitely not yet. But we will, soon. I do hate it when they resist getting stunned. Makes them a lot more annoying to deal with. Fucking mages. They're really annoying little creatures. Yeah, they managed to get their attacks off, obviously. Otherwise not so much, otherwise they're kind of weakling. Also, they have a very, very unfortunate tendency to teleport just right next to you, which is of course a rather stupid idea, considering that I'm a fucking swordsman and they are just little fucking mages. What about the cravings, though? You mean the psychological need to feel like you actually do need to fucking smoke? And combined with the technically speaking body need of doing it. I thought it is an addiction. Well, luckily for you, those actually don't last very long. Ah, another ruby. Basically, as soon as you have like 1 week done, you're kinda already out of the worst. Does require some good old-fashioned willingness and mental capacity to actually hold yourself back, of course, but that's usually something you can achieve as long as it's not, you know, too long. Little mages, go and die. Actually, let's go north first. We did so the last time as well. Far better. Money. But yes, that is the good thing about, well, just Nicodon, as it's not actually giving you that much in the way of withdrawal. So even if you actually issue it for a little bit, it's not gonna get that bad. Ah, yeah. I smell a boss. Now, of course, as we have learned by the past time, before we face a boss, we will go back to town and upgrade our equipment. Actually, in this case, this will be doubly important if memory serves. And you will see what I mean in a bit. Also gives an opportunity to kill a few more creatures. I mean, we're level 13, that's not bad. That could be better, though. I always like to say it could always be better. And since level directly translates to more HP and shit, you do kinda want that. But all your HP is a kinda a rather rare resource, let's just say. A rather rare resource that you really don't wanna do without. To put it mildly. Creature. I hate everything that is so fucking annoying to kill. Because it takes more time than it strictly needs. Of course, as you have probably realized at this point, you can also attack them from behind and do some nice damage. But the enemies also have a tendency to not just sit still and let you fucking attack them from behind for some mystical reason. Which makes it a lot easier to just attack them from above. Ah, fucking flying creatures. There's so many annoying little creatures in this world that you need to just deal with because, well, you don't really have a choice. Someone has to. Yeah, 5 gold. Not actually worth it. Da, 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 da. Well, welcome back, little strategy. Would you not jump out of my way, bitch? Like, no, I cannot. A Shoaled Horizon. I did play some of the, or well, at least one of the older Ace Combats, but for the love of God, don't ask me what it was named like, because I don't fucking remember. At least not off the top of my head. It was one from the PlayStation 2 era, I can tell you that much, but can't really tell you more than that. Not off the top of my head. I would have to actually look up all of my games and then look for Ace Combat. Which actually has a good chance to be up here, to be fair. Yeah, if it's on PlayStation 3, then no, I don't remember playing any Ace Combat on PlayStation 3. Definitely not. Actually, I do remember that I played very little on the PlayStation 3. I can't think about it. Interesting. So that wasn't that much of a success to begin with, or just one more title that's just gotten forgotten by time? Well, it happens sometimes. Okay, PlayStation 2 era is basically where I played the most games, console-wise. It's the last time I actually played heavily on consoles, that is. I mean, to be fair, that can happen as well. As I said, you know, there are just some titles that will be forever forgotten. It's like Ys 5, the forgotten Ys title that people do know it exists, but you'd be hard-pressed to even find anyone who knows about it in more detail than, well, it was a thing at one point. You gotta go? Yeah, fair enough. That does sound interesting. I mean, I'm not opposed to trying out something new. Yeah, I'll be around for a little bit more. I do kind of want to, you know, make at least some progress here, and I kind of want to see the Sparta moment in fucking felghana. Felghana style, nice. So I have a good reason to stay around for a little bit longer. Well, I shall probably welcome you back then. After we have upgraded our equipment and shit, of course. Which I think at this point the second equipment set costs like 7 of the 4. I think at least. 7, 14 for 1, which means we can probably upgrade 2 pieces of equipment, I want to say. Nah. We'll find out one way or another. And I still have a nice new pot of coffee and, well, depending on how long I sit here, I can probably reasonably drink a beer without it feeling, you know, a bit too weird. Let's see here. Hmm. I mean, the Gold Coast is really nothing to worry about. And I do think we can actually pick up another sword relatively soonish, so there's... I don't think a good... Yeah, I think actually in the next dungeon we do get a new sword, if memory serves. So I don't think we have any good reason to worry too much about our sword. Although, we could also... I guess upgrade every piece of equipment once. And then decide what we're doing with the last. I mean, it's not making that much of a difference, to be completely fair and honest, but... guess we go for more defense. We would have to get out of the way as well. Is there anything I might wanna buy while I'm at it? I mean, I guess we could afford the large shield or the plate mail. So I'm tempted. I will actually probably wait a little bit. We'll try the next few bosses and see how that works. Oh yeah, we should actually drink that, shouldn't we? Basically, we'll make a nice little save game while we're going back to the ruins, and if we should determine then that, you know, the enemy's a bit too annoying, we can always come back here and buy ourselves another upgrade. At least one of them. Either the shield or the armor, whatever the fuck pleases us more at the moment then. So at least the idea goes. I do love how easy it is to tell that you've got meta, because now you can just kill the wolfies in like one little hit and be done with it. Never have to look back again. Okay then, now it's time to go back to the next monument and see what assholishness the game will throw at us. There's a good chance it will be rather assholeish, of course. Slowly and surely we're cutting them all down. Like the monsters they so clearly are. I really don't feel like engaging with these motherfuckers too much. I don't really feel like it's worth it. Most profound. The little things. I would really like to get some more of that ore. Check the others, so far we have not really found a good source for it. Well, apart from, you know, random chests, that is. Which has been our only source of ore so far. Okay, so there's no reason for me to go up there because we still can't make that jump, no matter how we look at it. Ah, mages, always trying to be little assholes about everything. Well, I guess nobody was really surprised. Mages, when one day would suddenly stop being assholes, the world would probably break. Or something else horrible would happen. I can see that happening.